The pandemic has not only changed the way we have lived our lives for the past year, but it also changed the way sports are played, both professionally, all the way down to the high school level. Ken Spencer is joining me now here with more on how COVID changed the way the game is played. And you'll remember this time 1 year ago clearly, Kent. I know it.
You know what, Doug? This is where I was 1 year ago today, standing on the court inside the Greensboro Coliseum. Just the night before, the NBA suspended their season after Rudy Gobert of the Utah Jazz tested positive for COVID-19. People freaked at this scene of Fred Hoiberg on the sideline at the Big Ten tournament. Thankfully, he just had the flu. We had crews in Greensboro at the ACC tournament and Nashville for the SEC tournament. This is a look back at the day the ball stopped bouncing in college basketball. On March 12, 2020, the morning after announcing fans would no longer be in attendance at the ACC tournament in Greensboro due to coronavirus concerns, ACC Commissioner John Swofford made this announcement.
Right now, we are ready to tip the afternoon session.
Meanwhile, just a few hours later in Nashville at the SEC tournament, Keon Brooks remembers something seemed off.
I officially knew it was over once we went to shoot around and Cal didn't say nothing for the whole hour that we had on the court.
Then, at 11:47 a.m., Kentucky is pulled off the court. The SEC tournament has been canceled.
It was sad because we thought we really had a chance to make a run. But, unfortunate things happen sometimes.
Meanwhile, back in Greensboro at 12:16, just before Florida State and Clemson were scheduled to play, the ACC tournament was canceled, and the Seminoles were awarded the championship trophy.
None of us that are involved in it have ever really dealt with anything like it.
Over at Louisville's Team Hotel, we caught up with Louisville Athletic Director Vince Tyree.
And there's some pretty dismal reports, and then there's some that show if you take the proper actions like we're taking right now across the U.S. that we can stalemate it a bit.
Chris Mack still remembers the day like it was yesterday.
It was hard to believe.
Several hours later, at 4:16 p.m., the NCAA tournament had been canceled.
And that was really hard to swallow. It was a very tough few days.
We're one of the best teams in the country with a chance to win the national title. And it was all jerked away.
But nobody had any real idea what was to come. And Doug, obviously sports returned over the summer. Has it been the same? No, but what has?
And now we come to a tournament season where, of course, many news conferences are done via Zoom, and it's all been moved to Indiana with the closest games coming, in Bloomington, Kent? We may actually have a tournament winner this year, a name we haven't seen in decades.
And you know what? It's going to be a bumpy ride. If you look at the way the conference tournaments have, the other day, Duke had a positive test. They had to pull out of the ACC tournament. Today, Virginia had to pull out of the ACC tournament with a positive test. And also, Kansas had to pull out of the Big 12 tournament with a positive test. Who knows what's going to happen over that 3-week stretch?